What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're back with another video. If you don't know who I am, my name's Dodgy. I live stream every single day, so click the link in the description if you're interested in that. I am on vacation right now, so I do have other people live streaming for me. Other thing is, if you want to switch to futures, which I strongly recommend because the Forex prop firms are not doing so hot, click the link in the description below, the Apex link, and use code Dodgy. There's 71% off sale right now. I've gotten a ton of payouts on Apex, and yeah, I would recommend using Apex. So I made a complete guide on my inversion fair value gap checklist. This is what I used to get an 80% win rate, which easily got me funded. If you're interested, just click the link in the description below. All right, let's get started for the video. So in this video, I'm going to go over kind of the best setup, in my opinion, to kind of, a lot of people I'm live streaming, they're like, oh, you saw this SMT, how do you see that? Okay, and I have 3 monitors. So I think the best overall setup you can do is simply this 2 chart one. And if you want to be a little extra, you could do this. Okay, it doesn't matter to me. So why do I have all 3 up? Well, I'm always looking at NQ because this is the one I trade, and I need NQ in the biggest chart because this reminds me psychologically that I need to be really proactive and checking all the time frames. So I have a really good memory. So what I do is I kind of check the time frames and I kind of keep track in my head. Okay, here's a 5-minute low, but it's not on the 15-minute, or here's a 15-minute low, but it's not on the hourly. So I kind of just keep track of this, and I kind of have it the biggest because that's what I trade. But how do I see like SMTs and other stuff? Well, I always have a separate monitor with ES and kind of YM open, and you don't have to have YM open. It's up to you, but I usually have it on like the 15-minute or whatever. And I'll show you exactly what I do. So let's say we're down on the 1 minute. Okay, let's say I'm trading the 1 minute on NQ. So what I do is I'm mostly on like the 15-minute hourly for ES and NQ. But if I ever see like open and it's just the open's kind of okay, it's a little choppy, and I see open's a little choppy, I'm like, okay, let me go down from the 15-minute and let me go down from the 15-minute YM and just kind of see, are we getting any SMTs? So I kind of go down, go to where I'm at, and then I'll just stick to the 1 minute while we're in that period of consolidation. But as soon as we start trending off the SMT again, I'll kind of switch back. So in this example, we can see if I turn on the crosshairs, okay, we can see that when we were kind of in this range, I immediately noticed something. I immediately noticed, okay, YM's dumping way more, and ES or and NQ is kind of holding this gap. So that to me tells me, okay, well, we have a decent SMT with YM, right? That tells me if we do hold this gap, then I know we're probably going to get a model. Okay, and we did indeed get a model. It just happened to be before news. But I do not go on the 1 minute unless I see consolidation or something on the NQ chart because I'm mostly trading the 1 minute. But other than that, I'm on the 15. And this is kind of a good example because who would have ever known this without looking at these charts? And I kind of just have this on a separate monitor. And again, you can see it was also an SMT with ES. So ES, we kind of had the, if you look at the crosshair real quick, low here, made a higher high. And you can see YM just dumped. Okay, so unless we get consolidation, I don't really go on the 1 minute or the 5 minute. I just stick to the higher time frames. But this is kind of what my layout looks like, and I'm always kind of checking YM and ES during these consolidation phases because, again, I don't know if this fair value gap is going to hold or not. I'm literally just watching and seeing. But if I do see that SMT and I do see some sort of long setup here, that gives me better conviction that this is actually going to play out because I see, okay, YM dumped below this low here. We have a big bullish SMT, and I might be a little more confident. And then, so what I'll do is, if that's not the case, we're not consolidating, I'll stay in the 15-minute, okay? And I'm just kind of looking for like 15-minute hourly SMTs from overnight. I mean, you can just see a big one here. So like when I woke up in the morning on Friday, I'm like, okay, I immediately see this SMT. It just sticks right out to me. Okay, so I know like if the bias is bullish, we will inverse this and this will just shoot us up because we're coming off an SMT. So again, this is my layout. I kind of look for YM and ES. I don't really go on the 1 minute too much. But you can just kind of see how I use it as confluence. Again, if you don't know what SMT is, it's just basically when YM or ES makes a lower, lower, lower high, and NQ does the opposite. So maybe one of these makes a lower low, such as here, and NQ makes a higher low, such as here. And again, an SMT to me does not mean anything unless we get a setup. So a 15-minute SMT here would not mean anything to me unless we violated this 15-minute. A 1-minute SMT here would not mean anything unless we violate this 1 minute. So right here. Okay, so hopefully you understand that. And even when we're trending up, like if I'm trying to get a 1 minute entry in NQ, like I'll hop on the 1 minute. I'll just kind of look. I'm like, okay, is this an SMT? Okay, and it looks like right here there's not really any, but then we do get one here. So you can see YM dips below here, and NQ doesn't even get close to it. So like that's another example where it's like, okay, I now maybe know this inversion setup is a higher probability setup because YM hit the low and ES didn't. And you're probably wondering, this failed. No, it didn't. Okay, there's the 30-second held. And especially with SMT, I would not stop out of this very easily. But the 30 seconds it held. I think the 30-second was much more obvious here. It's going to take a lot of screen time to go down and see that, though. But again, it just kind of adds another confluence. And again, if I'm looking for a 1 minute entry, I kind of just hop over here. I'm like, okay, is there a 1 minute SMT? And sometimes it doesn't really influence me. Like no SMT or SMT, it doesn't really influence me. But some entries, or a lot of them, do have some sort of confluence with YM or ES. So I just kind of check it and keep it open on another monitor. So that's kind of what I do. And that's, again, I call that 3D analysis. And yeah. A lot of people were like, how do you just randomly know it's an SMT? It's just because I'm surfing through these time frames before taking entry, and that's what I do. So that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and other than that, peace out. Have a good rest of your week, and good luck. Stay safe, stay disciplined, follow your rules. Peace.